If money wasn't a thing and you could travel anywhere around the globe, around the world, where would you go snowmobiling and with who? Would you fly or drive? Would you rent sleds or would you bring your own? And who would you go with? I asked you and you shared what's on your bucket list, and I'm so excited to be sharing your answers over here on the podcast. Are you ready? Let's go. But first, hey, hi, and hello. I'm Angelisa, your host for Braap Babes Throttle Talk. Welcome. I am starting to feel a little alive. I'm not gonna lie, January has taken me out. Like, I have been sick for the entire month of January. It is so mind-boggling, and I just feel like I haven't even started my 2024, or at least I started on a very, very bad note. So, yeah, we're on the mend. My whole family got hit with that gastro flu bug. But not only that, all of us ended up having different symptoms. And me and my youngest, Billy, we both ended up having a very bad sinus infection. And even before this gastro flu bug, I was battling an ear infection. So, it has not been fun, and I just feel like I'm so behind on everything, but here we are. I am here right now, and I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful that I have the energy to be recording this episode with you. So yeah, that is a little bit of a life update, and also, not sure if you guys saw this on my socials, but before we got hit with the gastro flu bug, we ended up adopting a little puppy, and she's currently on my bed right now. And her name is Kahlua. If you didn't know, my husband, we don't drink. I don't drink, but my husband, if he does have an alcoholic beverage, it's Kahlua and milk. So we saw little Kahlua. She is a mixed breed. We're not sure. There's some Staffy Pit Bull, Black Lab, German Shepherd in her, but she's 4 months old. She's super sweet. And I just can't believe that I said yes to getting a dog. And then not only that, but saying yes and then getting hit with this flu bug, and all of us were like down for the count. But she has been so great. And again, I'm super grateful that, we got a puppy that was like super resilient and just along for the ride. Let's just say that. Okay, enough about me. I want to get into this episode, and I think this is a very exciting, fun episode because we're talking about your bucket list, what you want to do, where you want to go sledding if you had the opportunity to, with no limitations. You had all the money in the world. I asked you what's on your bucket list, where you want to go, who you want to go with, and where. Okay, so before I begin, I want you to guess what place and destination was the most popular. Okay, I'll give you a minute. I'm going to sip on my coffee. Did you guess a place, a country, a province, a state? Okay, I talked about what was on my bucket list a couple episodes ago, but in case you missed it, I have always wanted to travel to Sweden. My background is Swedish, and I thought it would be so fun to obviously check out a new country. I have never left North America, so checking out a new country, traveling, flying over with a bunch of my best gal pals that I go sledding with, like Sammy Watts, Jessie Pois, Steph Sweezy, and obviously tagging up with Ella Snall. God, I just think that would be the most epic trip of a lifetime, like making memories. I would love to explore a different country. Obviously, I think this is the way you do it. If you're traveling to like somewhere new, a new destination, and you are riding sleds or dirt bikes, is to hire guides and just explore and let them take you somewhere and you get to have the best time. Not only that, I'd also love to experience their culture, seeing the arts and the cuisine. Like, I am such a sucker of experiences. So also, I'm sure they would have some pretty unreal Airbnb homes that you could rent, and I think it would just make the experience that much more unique, exciting, and memorable. So that's my bucket list, is Sweden. So if you are from Sweden and you're listening to this podcast, please send me a DM. My Instagram handle is at Angelisa Edwards, and I would love to know where you go ride, and I would love to know more about your country, and maybe we can make something happen. That'd be great. Okay, so let's go through some of your bucket list answers together. So first up, we have Melissa Walper88 on Instagram, and she says Chile. She said, heard there's lots of snow. She would rent a sled for sure, as it would be hard to get her own sled out there. Yeah, of course. I think it would be such a big mission to get your own sled there. She would rent a Gen 5 Skidoo, and she would go with anyone willing to rip sleds. Melissa quotes, "We all know girls have more fun." Absolutely. Chile would be unreal. I have always wanted to go as a snowboarder to check out Chile. I remember seeing camps a long time ago. They always had camps in the summer because our summer is their winter, I believe. So anyways, never made it happen, but I do think Chile would be an unreal experience. Next, we have Whitney, and she says, me and my hubby's honeymoon one day is to spend 1 month traveling the US sledding. Yellowstone is top on her list to go. I think that would be such a cool experience to be checking out a whole bunch of areas, especially in the US. Like, I think there would be so many gems, hidden gems that we're not aware of. Yellowstone, I'm excuse my ignorance here, but I haven't looked too much into the US, but I never thought Yellowstone would be a place to go sledding. So I think that would be an unreal place to check out. Ashley the Bionic, she was on last week's episode. If you guys did not catch that, please go listen to that episode next. She says Alaska would be so cool. She mentioned she would fly and rent a 154 free ride and ride with Ashley Chaffin because she is an OG. Hell yeah. She would also love to ride with Kelsey Faye because she's watched all of her videos when she first started out as a sledder. And she is a huge girl fan of Kelsey Faye. So am I, Ashley. So am I. I think a lot of us are a huge fan of both Ashley Chaffin and Kelsey Faye. All right. Cora says, McCall, I'd go for 2 weeks, rent a big house with a big hot tub, and bring all the ladies with me. Cora says she would rent a snowmobile only because hers is a older one for that area and style of riding. She wouldn't want to ride a newer sled. I think, again, like if you're going to do any type of experience, absolutely renting something that you don't have just to get the feeling of it. If you're looking into getting a newer snowmobile, I think that would be such an unreal experience. And I mean, sledding in itself is like the best time, but when you can rent a huge house and like, yes, a hot tub, cook meals with a bunch of babes, and like, I don't know, it's always the like après, like the after the sledding, that it's like you get to relax, you get to chill, maybe watch some snowmobile videos. Definitely watch the Braap Babes ones that I sunk my heart and soul into on YouTube. You can check that out. If you're watching over here on YouTube, I'll link all those videos over here. But yeah, watching a whole bunch of sled videos and just talking about sledding in general is like the best time. Yeah. Okay, Courtney says, I would do a full BC tour of all of the areas I could. She would check out Whistler, Pemberton, Golden, Revelstoke, and then go north too. She would love to connect with riders from Instagram like Jenna Napier, Jessie Pois, Sasha Bodie, and myself. Okay, how epic would that be, Courtney? Like, let's make this happen. So Courtney lives in Manitoba, Canada. And she said she would bring her own sled, but she might be limited to areas with a 146. But holy moly, girl, let's make that happen. I would absolutely love to ride with you. Again, I would love to like curate experiences and make trips happen. And if we could do that more often, that would be amazing. I love girl trips. If you hadn't know, or if you hadn't noticed, I love girl trips. All right, Alex Hope. She says, I would buy a snowmobile, upgrade my dirt bike, and I'd ride everywhere. Whistler, Oregon. Alex says that she hopes to join some of the Northwest Woods women in Oregon. She is attending a Crystal Loves Moto Clinic this spring and is hoping to add to her connections. And as for snowmobiles, she has a few girlfriends that are waiting for her to buy a snowmobile to get into it. It's the only thing she doesn't know how to ride. And honestly, like, okay, love everything about this. Obviously, Whistler, I'm biased because I love Whistler. And I absolutely there's a special place in my heart for Oregon. And obviously, Crystal Loves Moto Clinic is the bomb. You're going to learn so much over there. And for snowmobiles, absolutely, like, you will crush it. If you can ride a dirt bike, you can ride a sled. Now, obviously, there's a few things that you will need to learn, but throttle therapy at its finest for sledding and being in the snow with your friends is, a good time. So I hope that you can at least rent a sled and you can experience that and make your decision. That would be fun. Like if you went with your girlfriends and you rented a sled just to try it out, to experience it. Like, yeah, do it. I think you'd have a lot of fun. All right, Jen K says Alaska. She says the drive is a part of the journey for sure, but to be able to fly in and go with a guide and rent sleds would be awesome too. Jen mentions that she would go with anyone that wants to have a good time in POW. Oh my God. Okay, Alaska. Yes. And I think you're right. I think if you just hired a guide to take you out would just alleviate a little bit of stress going out and experiencing the terrain like in a more calmer state, if that makes sense. It really does help having a guide so that it's not that extra stress of like where to go, what areas that you should stay out of and that sort of thing. But yeah, Alaska would be unreal. I have Christina James. She says New Zealand, Japan, and Chile. Ooh, okay. Again, excuse my ignorance, but New Zealand. If there's anyone from New Zealand listening in and you're a sledder, please DM me and let me know your experience. Let me know what you do, where you ride, because I wouldn't have thought New Zealand. I mean, I know there's snowboarding, but I didn't really realize that there might be sledding. So let me know, please. I would love to know. Okay, Jay Britton, he says, I feel like I live at one of the best places to sled. Guess Blue River is sweet too, though. It's only 6 hours away from where I live. So Jay lives in BC, and I do agree. I think we have some of the best mountains terrain for sledding, for mountain sledding. And again, grateful that we live where we do. I've never been to Blue River, but have heard amazing things, and I would love to check that out as well. Okay, Jessica Rainville, she says, I would drive to BC and rent a mountain sled to come ride with you and Jessie Pois and get training to ride. I would rent anything that would get me I would rent anything that wouldn't get me stuck. I've grown up with Ski-Doos, so an 850 Summit. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even with a long 164-inch track, you can still get stuck, but a 164-inch will help you stay afloat a little bit better. But I think that would be the best time. So Jessica is from the East in Canada, and we would love to host you, Jessica. I think that would be a lot of fun. Jessie Pois, she says, Japan with Seb, you, and Kenny. She would check out Black Diamond Lodge in Nisku. Oh my gosh, I'm butchering names. In Nisku. Used to have Polaris sleds for rent there. Ride Whistler was in collaboration with them at some point. Not sure you can still snowmobile there. Otherwise, it's sacred forests. Okay, yes. Japan, obviously, being a snowboarder, so many people have gone over to Japan to snowboard. Wouldn't have known that sledding would be a thing there. Now I'm jogging my memory. I think there was a bunch of sledders from the West Coast here that did go to Japan, but I am having a hard time racking my brain. Maybe it was 509. There was a 509 video that came out where they went to Japan. Let me know. You can send me a DM, or maybe I'll do my own research. But yes, the sacred forest. So I heard that they all stay away from the forests because they're sacred, and so that's why there's so much power, and that's why you see so many people snowboarding or skiing and like ripping up in the trees. All right, but I do agree, Jessie, I think that would be the best time. Okay, and next we have Sarah Teagan, and she says Chile, Japan, and Stewart, BC. I haven't thought much more than I'd like to go there, except Stewart. I drive and bring down my own sled, and I'd love to go with my OG group. And I have started looking at accommodation options, but haven't settled on anything yet. Oh man, yeah, Chile, Japan, Stewart. Absolutely. I think those would be like some pretty epic trips, especially if you're going across the world to Chile and Japan. Stewart, BC is up north. It's just near Alaska, I believe, on the border, maybe? I don't know my geography. But anyways, I think that would all be such an epic time. And that is all that I have of all of your bucket list ideas. So I asked you in the beginning if you picked a destination or a place. And can you guess which one was the top destination? It's Chile and Japan. There's a tie. Chile and Japan. That would be unreal. That would be so sick to, again, travel abroad and to travel with your gal pals and to experience all the things: sledding, culture, cuisine, arts. It would be so much fun. I hope this inspires you to, I don't know, maybe book a trip with some gal pals and go make some memories, and maybe even try a new sled if you are thinking of getting one, hiring a guide, and just making those trips just extra special. That's all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you guys next week, and hopefully my voice will be sounding a lot better. Okay, bye guys.